Hello, hello everyone. It's Melissa Faust from stampwithmelissa.com. Welcome to Craft and Chat episode 2. Today we are going to have some fun because I need to make my team swap cards. So I'm not going to say too much more about that now. I'm going to go ahead and hook my camera up. Let's get creating. I have to make, I'm making 8 cards that are all the same today. So we've got lots of time to chat. So let's go ahead and dive on in. All right. So here's what I'm going to use. Our theme for our swap this month is the mini catalog. So both of these sets are in the mini. I'm going to use the leaves here, so primarily focus on this set, but I really like this sentiment here that says, "A friend like you brings me happiness," because truly my team members really do bring me a lot of happiness. And again, I apologize for the lights here, but I wanted to show you I'm actually casing a card. Here, let me zoom in so you can see it. I'm casing a card from, oh, hold on. It's being weird on me. There. Okay, sorry. This is on Pinterest, so it's being all funky. Hopefully you can see that. I'm going to case this card from my friend Jamie Babarsi. She made that card, and I just love it because I really like these leaves, but I don't love to fussy cut, and you don't have to with the card that she came up with. So let's go ahead. Okay, sorry about that. I totally, grabbed stuff and threw. Oh, it was like a cleanup on aisle 12. All right, so I have 3 pieces here. I've got a new pack that I got to open because we need 4 pieces. I'm making 8 cards. So every month my team does a card swap, and it's so much fun. So this month we are doing the mini catalog, and I love it. And so we have 7 people participating, but I don't like making an odd number of cards unless it's like just 1 card, then that's okay, I guess. So I am going to make 8 because I'm a little ridiculous. So I'm going to go ahead and score these all, and I'm going to do the whole sheet of paper because then I have to score less. So these are going to get scored at 1 and 5 1/4. So I'm scoring on that 1 inch on the right hand side here because I find it's a little bit easier. You have more, instead of doing this, like, you know, your paper can kind of get wonky if you're measuring on that side or scoring on that side. So I like to just do this, but this guarantees we have that full 4 1/4 center here. So, all right, line it up at 1. Flip it around and go to 5 1/4. And then 1 more piece to go. Oh, come here. Doesn't want to. There we go. So yeah, our card swaps are really a lot of fun. So someone on the team, Alicia Markfort, she actually is our swap card coordinator, which means she's the one who figures out who wants to participate and, you know, gets everybody's addresses and all that good stuff. And she's awesome at it. And so I'm really glad that she said yes to taking on that role. And we have a card swap every single month. So it's a lot of fun. So these are September's that I'm working on. I know you're seeing this video much later, but that's because I wanted my team members to get their cards and see them before everybody else, if that makes sense. So yeah, okay, hold on. So this should be, what, 3 1/4? And then this piece is 1 inch. So I just need to, you know, do some measuring. I have something stuck in here. I want to get it out. Hold on. Let me use this little Post-it. Okay, so anyway, what we do, so on September 1st, Alicia posted in our team Facebook group that we were doing a card swap. All right, I got some peach pie here that I'm going to use for my layering. So I'm going to cut this at 5 1/4 so that it's 1/4 inch shorter. And then I'm going to cut at 3 3/4 for this mats. Make sense? Okay, so anyway, on September 1st, Alicia posted on our group that we were doing a mini catalog card swap for the month of September. You have until the 10th of the month to sign up. So whoever wanted to participate just had to tell us by, you know, September 10th. And then you just have to have your cards in the mail by the end of the month. So you make a card for everybody who is participating. So like I said, this month we have 7 people. So you actually really only have to make 6 cards then because you're one of the people. So there's 7 of us, and you can choose whether or not you want to make a card. I have so many little bits all around. You can choose if you want to make a card for yourself or not, but I always like to make a card for myself, which means I'd make 7. And, you know, as I explained earlier, I'm a little particular, and if I'm already going to be cutting, I'm going to just go ahead and cut for 8. So I'm actually going to make 8 of these. And they're going to be so stinking cute, so I'm going to be glad to have extra. All right, so now I'm going to cut these at 3/4. 1, 2, 3. And so these are kind of fun. So we do have some, like, I don't know, I guess you'd say rules, but they're more like guidelines in place just to make sure that we all get some good quality cards. But honestly, it's never been an issue with our team because everyone is just really awesome. They're all great crafters, and so we've never had an issue with anything, but we do have some guidelines. So we say there has to be like 3 layers, and then of course this one is mini catalog themed, so we're all featuring something from the mini catalog. So usually like you pick like a stamp set. So, okay, let me grab some basic white. All right, so those peach pie layers were like 5 1/4 by 3 and 5 1/4 by 3/4. So these I'm gonna go 5 1/8 by 2 7/8. I do not know where all this little stuff is going. You guys, it's so funny because I have all this like, all these lights on being in the basement. Ooh, can I fit that? No. Okay. I have all these lights on being in the basement, and it's funny because I think my craft room is generally clean. I do dust in here and stuff, but oh my gosh, when I get all these lights on, wow, it's not so nice looking anymore. There's so many, you know, like just little paper bits and all that just laying around. I'm like, whoops, guess I gotta dust again. I almost said mop. It's because my brain was focusing for a second. Anyway, so, okay, so here we go. And these pieces, oh, you know what? I actually don't, okay, so I want this larger basic white piece that I'm cutting right now, but I'm actually going to cut some DSP for that smaller strip instead of basic white. So let me find some DSP for that. All right, so we've got Cajun Craze as our card base color. So I'm going to go Cajun Craze for this strip too, which I'm going to be totally honest, that's what Jamie did also. But hey, sometimes, you know, things just look so nice, so you just got to go with it, right? Okay, so I want the stripes to be horizontal, so I am going to turn this and cut it 5 1/8. And then we're going to cut, our piece was 3 3/4, so we're going to cut these at 5/8. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Perfect. So then these 2 pieces I can just put back in this DSP pack, and I will save those for some other project at some other time, but that works out perfect. Okay, so I think I can move these aside. Now, I mentioned this is my September swap card, and so here's my little secret, you guys, is, you know, we're doing a messy scrap paper challenge in September, and maybe this should just continue over, because I'll be honest, I will share a picture. Okay, I'm filming this before the end of September, so you're not going to see it till October, but anyway, I'm going to take a picture of this on the last day of September and post that on my Facebook page. But to be honest, like, there's so much white space, I'm going to keep using it. So, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set down what I need here. Now, I grabbed this sentiment. Oh, it's not going to fit. I was worried about that, if it was going to fit or not. So, okay, I might have to do something a little bit different. Okay, let me find a new sentiment. Okay, this is not from the mini catalog, but I think we're going to try... Let's see if You Make Life Better would work, because I think that would be sweet too. So that would fit there. But then I wanted to look. Yeah, I think that would work. Okay, so we're committing. Let me get that mounted. I've got all my blocks here, so we'll get that mounted. So here's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to start by stamping this. I'm debating if I should start by stamping this or what. What should I do? What should I do? Okay, so I was going to use my Post-it note tape, but I think instead I'm actually going to use actual Post-it notes. Let me find them here. Here they are, because I wrote down all my measurements. I'm going to use Post-it notes here. And let's just go ahead and, because these will give me, the reason I'm not going to use the Post-it notes is because All right, I'm trying to line this up with my grid just so you can see what I'm doing here. But the reason I'm going to use these instead is because they're a little bit wider. The Post-it note tape was like pretty much exactly that width, and I want a little bit of white space around it. So, all right, so let's get that on. And then I'm going to do one this way. It wiggled a little. And I'm just lining it up with my grids to have that equal-ish, equal-ish margin. And then maybe, I don't know, I think we'll be careful. We'll be okay. Okay, so that is going to be my sentiment. I will do that in a little bit, but let's go ahead and start with these beautiful leaves. So I think I'm going to use, we've got Cajun Craze for our card base. We've got Peach Pie for our layers. I think we should use some pumpkin pie for one of the leaves, and then maybe just stick with Cajun Craze because I think that that would be pretty. So I am going to ink up, and let's do, I don't know, we'll do this one. So I'm just going to stamp these. Now the reason I have the Post-it notes there is they're actually going to serve as like a mask, so that the that area doesn't get stamped. So I can stamp my sentiment there and have nothing else in the way. So these are kind of fun because, you know, leaves just fall however they want to. And so, you know, you could just kind of have some fun with this. Let's sneak that out of the way a little bit and do this one maybe this way. And then we'll do this one again in Cajun Craze up here. Cute, cute. And then we've got these. These are the filler images. Now these can actually just be stamped in the same color ink. I'm trying to do this where I don't make a mess. Okay, so make sure you do the right one in the right color. And these are cool because you don't have to stamp off. But it creates kind of that fun little filled in background, and it's a little bit lighter. Now I know I'm not stamping perfectly straight on with these, but that's okay because it still looks kind of cool. So we've got that. Let's maybe put our Cajun Craze over here and our pumpkin pie over here. I don't know. All right, stamp the insides of these. And then we've got to do 7 more. So, okay, let's see here. There's that one and this one. So let me peel this up and see how we did. Because if this one went really bad, remember how I was making an extra? Then this one could be mine. So, oh, cute. I love it. All right, so there's one of our pieces. So we're just going to go ahead and keep going with the rest. So, and make sure, you know, the ink on the Post-it notes is not necessarily dry, and that's okay, but just keep in mind that you might get some ink on your fingers. And I don't even care if I stamp these in the same spot as the first card. I think that they can go willy-nilly wherever. Okay, so as we create these, I wanted to tell you a little bit about my team because this is something I get questions on sometimes. And actually in October right now, Stampin' Up! Is having a really cool starter kit special. So I thought, okay, I'm working on team stuff and, you know, it's all good. So I thought maybe I should just tell you about it. Okay, so, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about my story too, because I've been meeting a lot of new demonstrator friends and lately, and they've all been like, wait a minute, how did you get started stamping? Because if you did not know, I am maybe a little younger than the average stamper, but I still love this hobby so much. And I'm an old soul at heart. So that's what I always tell people is that, okay, I might be in my 20s, but I am like, I don't know, 40 in my heart. Yeah, anyway. So, I actually became a demonstrator. Now that's technically the word, right? I became a demonstrator in 2016, in March of 2016. So, you can't become a demonstrator until you're 18. And so I had to wait. I'm trying not to touch these with my fingers if you're wondering why I'm being so cautious around the edge, because here, I'll just use the block. Because I just don't want to get ink all over my fingers. Okay, so, because then I know it'll get everywhere else. So, anyway, so you have to be 18, and so I actually found Stampin' Up! When I was in high school. The person who I bought the starter kit from, her son and I are friends, and we knew each other. We probably met in like middle school, but we were closer in high school. And I was at his house one day, because his house was the house we all hung out at, all of us, you know, in our group of friends in high school. And there was a card on their kitchen counter. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's the cutest darn card I've ever seen. What the heck is this? And he was like, oh, my mom made it. Like, he was so nonchalant. He's like, whatever, my mom made it. And I was like, wait, what? And so I went in and I was like, Sue, did you make this? And she said, yeah. And I was like, I want to learn how to make that. And now, to be honest with you, I don't really fully remember all of what happened next, but I know that I probably that day went home with some catalogs, and I'm not really sure. I don't remember the exact timeline of when I saw this card, but you know, I don't think it was very long after that I bought the stamp set and some other supplies, some inks and cardstocks and all that jazz, and fell in love with this creating stuff. And so, kind of an interesting backstory too that I don't share super often, but my grandma, so I actually have 27 first cousins. My grandma and grandpa on my dad's side had 11 kids. And my grandma, when she was alive, she would send cards for everybody's birthday. You always got a card for your birthday. And of course, you know, there was money inside. But she actually passed away in, I think it was 2016. Yeah, she passed away in 2016. Actually on my 19th birthday, she passed away. And so it's kind of an interesting, I don't know, connection, I guess, because now I'm the one who makes and sends the cards. Now, I mentioned that she put money inside. Just so you all know, I don't put money inside. She was nicer than I was in that respect. I don't put any money inside. But I send to my cousins and, you know, their spouses and their kids and my aunts and uncles and all that kind of stuff. I love to send cards. So I send about 1,000 cards a year, and I love it. I love it so much. I track them. I have spreadsheets because there's so many birthdays and things. So I actually have spreadsheets set up so that I can make sure I don't miss anybody. Which, if you know me in real life, you know that that's probably no surprise, or you're probably thinking that's not a surprise that you have a spreadsheet, Melissa, because I'm an accountant in my day job life and I love Excel, like Microsoft Excel. And so that's not really surprising to very many people. Okay, and then you can see, I'm just going to switch back to this card real quick. So I'm kind of stamping the leaves in similar places that I didn't really need to do that, but because of the Post-it note, because I'm adding so much ink and it's a little bit of a different, oh shoot, I just stamped that in pumpkin. Focus, Melissa. It's okay. Let's see if we can redo that. Shh, don't tell. Here, that's the card I'll keep. Okay. So anyway, because the Post-it notes aren't drying as fast, and hopefully that doesn't, let's try it. I can see where I stamped that leaf, so I'm just going to ink around it and hope that it picks it up and doesn't seep in. I think we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. All right. Anyway, so, the Post-it note isn't drying. And so I was going to switch them, but then I didn't want to mix the ink, which is funny because that's exactly what I just did on accident. Okay, I can't see this one. Hold on. You're probably in the camera. Oh, wow, I stamped that really well. I really could not see that one without getting my head over it. And I didn't want to block the camera, so I didn't get my head over it. Anyway, so I send birthday cards now to everybody. And I don't do anniversary cards. I don't know if she did that because, I never received one because I didn't have any anniversary or whatever. But yeah, so I don't know. That was just kind of cool. So that's not really something I've shared much, but that's something I'm sharing now. So maybe that's something you didn't know about me. But yeah. And what was I going to say? Oh, I was just going to keep going. So anyway, so that was in 2019. A few months later, actually in 2017, because my birthday's in December. So she passed away, in December. So in 2017, my grandpa actually passed away too. And we actually think that was because of a broken heart because he did not know how to live without her. So that was kind of sweet. But yeah, so I just, bought the starter kit 2016. I'm going to jump back in time now. 2016. So I bought the starter kit because I became a customer of Stampin' Up! Because, what's not to love? You've got coordinating inks and paper and all this good stuff. And, we're all crafters here. If you're watching this video, I bet you're a crafter or you're a family member or a friend who just wanted to see what I'm doing. But anyway, so I bet you're probably a crafter though. And we like stuff. There's no denying it. We like to just own stuff and have stuff. So I thought, you know what? And guys, this is truly, honestly, what went through my head. I thought I was a senior in high school And I was like, here's the thing about me is when I like get into something, I'm into it. Like there's no going back. This is it. And so I should probably change this, but I'm not going to. We've only got 2 left. So I was like, this is really cool, but you know, I was a senior in high school. So I think I probably found Stampin' Up! When I was maybe a junior. I think I was a junior in high school. So it was about a year after that. And it was March and I was like reading my catalog, and in the back of the catalog it said something about like getting a discount, and I was like, wait, what? And so I looked, and yeah, sure enough, you could buy this thing called a starter kit, which this was also during Celebration, so it was a deal, and it's actually the same deal that's going on right now, which is kind of cool. So you could pay $99, and this is obviously in the US, so you could pay $99 and you could pick out $155 worth of stuff. And I was like, who wouldn't do that? That's $56 of free stuff. That's like a whole bundle, or like 5 ink pads, or like packs of paper, or like envelopes, or adhesives, dimensionals, whatever you want, right? I was like, why wouldn't I do that? So I signed up, I bought the starter kit, and it was the best decision of my life. And I don't say that lightly, and I know I laughed, but I don't even mean it as like a joke. It really was. Yeah, I really should probably change these Post-its, but we only have 1 left. So, okay. So I purchased the starter kit, and I had absolutely no intention of doing anything other than getting my discount. And I was great with that for a few years. And I know some of you have actually been around for a few years, so you've actually seen, but my actual like business or that kind of side of it has really only been around for, let's see, maybe just about 4 years now. So I've been a demonstrator for 8.5 years. And yeah, so not even half my time so far has been like kind of like class focused and doing videos and, you know, sharing what I like online, what I love. So anyway, I bought that starter kit and I was like, cool, I'll get a discount. And I actually kept up my discount perfectly fine in college and everything. And you know, as a college student, you have no money. But I really, really, really enjoyed stamping, and I just knew that I commit to things. So I'm like, I'm not quitting this, right? Like, so basically when you buy the starter kit, you have a while to do it your first time, but you get your first full quarter, and what you have to do is buy or sell $300. Now that $300 is before your discount. You get a 20% discount. So you actually only have to do, buy or sell $240, but it counts as $300. Okay, we got these stamps. So let's close these up. And so I stayed active. It wasn't hard to do because I was building up my craft stash. I love this stuff. And I just was able to do it. So I stayed active, and then, you know, COVID hit. And hopefully I don't get flagged on YouTube for saying that word, but you guys, we all know what happened, right? And at that point, I had a job that was kind of demanding. I'm going to switch to Early Espresso ink because I love Early Espresso ink to stamp these sentiments. But before I do that, I'm going to stamp it on the scratch paper to make sure it's straight. Yeah, that looks good to me. Okay, so I had a job, and I loved that job, but it was slightly demanding. It was a very small company, and so we had just a few people, and it basically means that, you know, whatever your job was, you were the expert in it. And it was actually for a community theater, and so I had to sometimes go into work during the day, sometimes at night, sometimes over the weekend. I also volunteered there, and I truly did love the job, but there was no way I could ever even think about like having classes or doing videos or any of that. I just didn't have time for it. And so COVID hit, and we all went home, and you know, you guys know how it worked, but you know, we went home, and it was like, okay, at the end of March, we're going to come back in office. And then it switched to, okay, at the end of May, we're going to come back in office. And then it switched to, okay, we might not come back in office. And so I was like, well, that's cool. So now I have more time to stamp. And then I was like, you know, that was great. And then somebody who I was with at the theater, who, one of our participants was like, hey, I'm going to buy some Stampin' Up! Stuff from you. And I was like, wait, what? You're going to do what? And she was like, yeah, I'm going to like buy some stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess. I'm going to adhere these DSP pieces to the peach pie now. And I was like, okay, that's fine. You know, whatever. I don't really like do this, but yeah, you can like buy stuff. And she was like, well, I'd like to support you, you know, help you reach your minimums. And I was like, okay, but little do you know, I don't need help reaching my minimums because I buy it all. Anyway, but she was very sweet. So she bought, and I was like, what if I did this like for real? Like, what if I like tried to sell? And so that's kind of where everything started. And with COVID, which is kind of weird to say, but it really did. And so I don't even know where I started. I took like training programs from demonstrators. I really invested in myself because I believed in myself. And I didn't want anything like big. I just was like, it would be kind of cool to find other people who liked to craft, you know, and share this with them. And so I started posting online and doing all that stuff. And then I was like, I don't know, I must have been a Hawaii trip or something. I saw demonstrators on a Hawaii trip and I was like, I want to go on one of those, you know? And so I found another demonstrator. Her name is Rhonda Wade, and she had a training on earning it was actually at the time the Baltic cruise. And that it turned into, you know, obviously with stuff in Ukraine and everything, it turned into the Norway cruise. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try. And so I joined her training and I did what she said to do. And, you know, she had homework for us and all this stuff. And I did it. I did what she said. And you guys just really showed up and supported, and I just was so appreciative of it, and I actually earned that Norway cruise. So that was really, really cool. So that's kind of a little bit of like my story, how I started. I've been getting asked that a lot lately, so I thought, you know what a good time to share as I work on this stuff, because one of the things I'm most blessed with is my team members, the people who have purchased the starter kit from me, because we do like Zooms and everything, and that's just not something I'm able to offer on like a big base. But it is something that I can offer to my team. And so we do those Zooms 2 times a month. They're always optional, but of course we love when people can come. But yeah, I keep them optional so you don't have to feel like you have to come or anything. But we do one a month that's like kind of like more formal, I guess you would say, and that's where we talk about like Stampin' Up! News, and we'll do maybe a mystery card or a dice roll challenge, or I'll have somebody come in and present. But yeah, like truly, I just did not realize like the power of this community. It's so cool to gather with people who love crafting. It's just so cool. Okay, I'm adhering these now to these peach pie pieces. Anyway, so yeah, it's just been really, really fun to learn more about them. They're like some of my best friends now, and it's just so cool. So anyway, it's awesome. So I wanted to tell you about it because maybe you've been on the fence of it, and I wanted to just encourage you. If that's something, you know, if you love stamping, if you love Stampin' Up! Products, there's really no reason why you shouldn't buy the starter kit. I mean, there might be a couple of reasons, I guess, but I don't know. I just think that it's pretty awesome, and it's definitely worth it. And it just really has blessed my life in so many ways. Like even going to conventions in person, and everything is optional, which is cool too, because you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. Which is great. Like you could just like buy the starter kit and then buy all your future products at a discount. Or you could buy the starter kit, get your products at a discount, and invite your neighbors over to stamp sometimes. And then they could also buy stuff from you because they like stamping. You know, like, and then you could go to on-stage events in different states. I don't know. There's so many different things. So I'm really grateful for it. But anyway, so yeah. So in October 2024, the deal is right now is that you get to pay $99 plus tax, and then you get free shipping, and you get to pick out $155 worth of product, which means you get $56 in free product, which is really stinking cool. And I think that I wouldn't be doing right by you if I didn't tell you about it. So yeah, there's that. So anyway, okay, so here's this. So some of the other things that our team does too is like for my weekly live videos, I do those, I call them class to goes, and they're a thank you gift for ordering with me that week, and I love to offer them. But for my team, I want them to buy from themselves and get their own discount, just being fully transparent and honest. So I actually give them the PDFs for those free every single week. So that's really cool. But yeah. Oh, and I was telling you about the Zoom meetings that we do. So the first one is more formal, which isn't really formal at all, but that's where we'll do something fun, like a mystery challenge, or, you know, sometimes team members will come and share like how to do something cool, like a wiper card or a step card, or a cool technique like a magic color slider card. I probably said that wrong, but you know, they'll come and show like those cool things and whatnot. We'll have other demonstrators come, like Julie Salva has come, Patty Bennett is going to come, you know, like just cool things like that. And yeah, it's really spectacular. So, whoa, that one did a flip in the air. It wants to be a gymnast. Yeah. So then the second Zoom we do every month is, I call it open crafting night. So I open up the Zoom room, and we're spread out all throughout the US. So we do everything on Zoom. But I open up a Zoom room, that sounds fun to say. And basically we just like get on, you bring your own project. So you could actually come and work on like your swap cards, or you could work on, we have creative challenges every month. So you can work on that. Maybe you have to make a birthday card for something. You could work on that. There's so many different things that you could do. And it's just, yeah, it's just a great time. So, you know, I just realized I didn't even use any dimensionals on this card. I don't think it counts as a card then. And I don't have any plans to, because I already have my sentiment down. I don't even know where I'd add them, but we'll see. We'll have to see if we can find a place to put them in. But the other thing we do with our swap cards is we make sure we add an inside. So you don't have to like super decorate it, but just a little bit. And you don't have to put a sentiment on it. So I am going to have to just, you know, cut the insides of these cards and stamp a few. Yeah, which will be really fun. So anyway, I don't know. It's so cool. I love it. I love it so much. And thanks to Jamie for sharing this card online, because I was like, I have to make it. And it's such a fun one for a swap card because it's a cool like fold. It's got a masking technique. So that's just really fun too. I always like to give something to my team that will help them try something new as well. So that's that. Last one here. My seal is doing spins. I guess we have like gymnast supplies today. All right, let me go ahead. We're gonna fold and burnish all these card fronts. So this piece is gonna come over like this. This piece is gonna go over like that. That is so stinking cute. Maybe I'll have to add like a ribbon or something. I don't know, like some linen thread. I do have a little bit of that schmutz left over from the Post-it notes. So like I said, I'll pick the one that's the worst and I'll save it for myself. So, you know, it's all good, but okay. And by the way, I am going to have a blog post linked in the description of this video as well. And on that blog post, you can find the pictures of these cards because, of course, who doesn't want to see a picture? It's easier to save in case you want to case this card. You can save the picture so you can case it. And I will also link any products I used in case you're like, wait a minute, I need that. But yeah, it's going to be awesome. So, all right. Let's just burnish these. And I've been having some fun with these craft and chats, getting these video ideas for you. And I just thought, oh my gosh, I have to do my swap cards. I'm going to film it. I'm curious to know if you've ever done a swap before and what's the most, like how many cards. So usually with a swap, you make all of your cards the same, because what I'll do is I'll send these out. So there's 6 people I'm sending to, because I'm the 7th. So there's 6 people I'm sending to, but then I'm going to get all of their cards back. So I'm going to get a lot of different card ideas. And the fun thing is that like, if people use a stamp set that you don't own, then you get a cool idea with that set. So, all right, we're going to use some linen thread on these because it's my absolute favorite. So I'm just going to tie some bows and then we'll cut them. And just got to get my snips ready here. What was I going to say? I don't even remember. Oh, swap cards. So you make the same, whatever, but the most I've ever had to make for one swap was, I believe, 48, which was like, I'm almost embarrassed. So these were when I went to Utah over the summer for a Stampin' Up event, or it was an event for demonstrators hosted by Rhonda Wade. I went to Utah and participated in the swap, and there were, I think, 43 of us who were swapping. But the card I made, I used DSP as the full background. So I actually used the new Take a Bow DSP as that background piece, and there's 48 sheets in there. So I ended up just making 48 cards so I could use the whole pack of paper on the card base, which is maybe a little ridiculous, but whatever. And I'm a little bit, not embarrassed to say, but let's just say when you do swap cards, usually you don't want to make them super duper complicated because you have to make a lot of them. And if you had to make one, it might not be too bad, but when you have to make a lot, it might be a little bad. Now making, you know, 8 for our team swap isn't awful at all. But when you have to make 48, that's another story. And so I want to say that almost took me, I want to say like 15 hours to make all of those. So yeah. But you know what? Sometimes I just get an idea in my head and I just have to see it to fruition. I just am like, that has to happen. It just has to. So, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 more to go. So as I tie these bows, I like to just keep them on the spool, and you can see I just tie on that right-hand side. If I can grab the piece, there we go. Tie on the right-hand side and just chop off on the left end whenever I have what I need. Okay, one more. And I love linen thread so much, you guys. I think I have like 5 spools of this stuff. You know, if you have a bunch, don't feel bad. It's good stuff. It's like needed. We need it. So, okay, let's go ahead. I'm going to grab my glue dots. And stick the knot of the bow on the dot, the glue dot. So the knot on the dot. And come here. This is always so fun when I can line up my glue dots with all the bows. I always like looking at that. It's fun. I just finished up, at the time I'm filming this, I just finished up the Halloween mystery craft box, and one of the gifts had linen thread bows, and I just went to town, just tying, and then it was so fun to see them all in the knot. Okay, this one came off because he was like really excited to go on a card. So let's go ahead. Let's see where we want to put this. Maybe like, no, I'm going to just push that, the dot together here. Maybe I'm going to go over here. I love that sentiment. You make life better. How sweet is that? Cute, like that. All right, and obviously we have to add some embellishments too. Oh, hopefully yeah, okay. I was like, hopefully I'm on camera for you. And then when I send these to my team members, I actually put like this little postcard thing on the front just to, you know, protect it so it can get there safe, because these aren't something that I write in, right? These are for them to then use. So I want to make sure they get there in like as best of shape as possible, because yeah, that's just important to me. So okay, so let's stick that guy down, and I just kind of like, when I can see that exposed glue dot, I just kind of squish it with my fingers to kind of make it, you know, go where it should. Like, I don't want you to be exposed, so, you know, push that down. And then here's this one. Cute, I love it. Okay. Now, embellishments. These are not a color used on the card, but we're going with it anyway. I'm going to use these copper clay. Ooh, the pebbled path might look kind of pretty too. I'm going to use pebbled path. We're going to use these pebbled path. These are the 2023 to 2025 in color opaque sparkle dots. I'm going to use the pebbled path ones as my embellishment. Now, these ones are nice because, let me see here. Where do I want to put these? Maybe like here. They're nice because the dots are all one size. This one's stuck to my glass mat. Come here. There we go. That one came off and was like, I'm going to stick down here. I kind of like that gray in there. It like mutes it a little bit. I was going to use the copper clay ones. Look at these. They're like, we want to stick to your glass mat instead. I was going to use the copper clay ones, even though we don't use that. But I don't know. I like these. They are very cute. Very cute. Oh, come here. All right. I do not know why these are like being so difficult. Look at that. It's like, they're being so funny. Maybe I just need to use the pokey end. Maybe that'll work easier for me today. Usually I like to use the putty end on my take your pick tool, but you know, sometimes you just have to adjust. You just have to do it a little bit different. Come here, buddy. Okay, we're going to switch back to the putty. There we go. Alrighty, so as I finish these up, I am going to just go ahead and add the insides, but I can do that off camera because they won't be anything too pizzazzy. So I'm going to just add the insides to these, and then my swap cards are going to be all done for the month of September. So I'm really excited. I have only gotten one of my team member swaps so far, and I'm really, really excited to see what they look like. Maybe I can take a picture of them and share them in that blog post too in the description. That would be kind of fun for you to see what all the swap cards looked like and who they were made by. So maybe I'll do that. So there is the card. Obviously, like I said, I need to add the inside in, but kind of a fun card. So yeah, super, super cute. I love it. I love that Caring Leaves stamp set so much. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you had fun, you know, learning a little bit about me. Definitely leave me some comments so that I can learn more about you too. And yeah, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. And otherwise, I will see you soon. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.